Welcome to the Wild and Free with Anna Love podcast. I am your host, Anna Love. Wild and Free was born to inspire women to release old patterns that have kept them from living their best life. As a subconscious freedom specialist, I strive to reprogram and reframe generational trauma, not only in myself and the lives of my 3 daughters, but for those who are ready to transform anxiety, fear, and shame into authenticity, freedom, and love. Whether you are 20 years old or 70 years young, buckle up for raw and honest explorations in doing the work necessary so that you may shine your brightest light from your heart and onto the lives of others. Welcome to Wild and Free with Anna Love podcast. I am your hostess, Anna Love, and I am so happy to have you join me here today. We are going to be talking about how to reclaim your radiance and breaking free from the subconscious stories that dim your light. So I'd love to dive into mothers and daughters or mothers and sons. And in light of it being Mother's Day yesterday, I think this is a timely topic. And if you're anything like me, you have a mom, but you may not have the best relationship with your mom, or you have a sister, but you may not have the best relationship with your sister. And this could be the same for grandmothers or aunts, family members that you might have been close with at some point in your life, but not so much anymore. And I attest that to unconscious programming and the mother wound. And I'm reading a book right now called Mother Hunger, and it's actually teaching me that I am not the only one out there that has current feelings that are not resolved. And I know for years and years and years, I've been feeling, I guess, estranged from my mom, even though we have been in contact. There has been this obligatory connection. And I say obligatory connection because when we chat, it seems very superficial. And I know that for me, I am the best conversationalist when we are going deep into things. And I think for my mom, she's the best conversationalist when she gets to stay on the surface level and talk about all of the things that she's doing in her life, but not really going down deep into anything. And it leaves me feeling a little bit disconnected from her. So I don't know if anyone else has been feeling this with their mother, or they've seen it going on in their families, but they're, it's been there my whole life. I would say when I was very, very, very little, it was a different type of relationship. But as we grew older, we definitely drifted apart, and I had no idea how to get it back. And now I'm actually at peace with not getting it back and realizing that my relationship with my mom doesn't have to take on any form for it to mean or be worthy. And I don't know if anyone else is feeling this. I'd love to hear comments. I almost wish I had some people on here to chat with me about, but I'd love to hear your comments to this episode. And if you are experiencing a severing of a relationship with your siblings or with your children or with your mother or grandmother or aunt, that is what this episode is going to be all about. So really this, what I call overcompensating mother wound is what, I will have to say, I started doing it with my daughters, where I started to feel as though like I was actually projecting, that I was starting to notice with my kids that because they're teenagers, right? And they pull away at varying degrees and then they come back in at varying degrees. And one of my daughters, I know for a fact, has been harboring some anger towards me for a very long time since the divorce. And I know that, I had actually offered information when they were young saying that I was the one who wanted the divorce. And I think that maybe that wasn't the best idea to say to my young children at the time, but I wanted to be transparent and I wanted to be forthcoming. However, now it feels like it's definitely a wedge between one of my daughters and I, and it's really not for me to overcompensate about that. I need to let her work that out at the time that she needs to work it out. But what was happening, and now this is resolved, and I'll tell you how it got resolved. But for the past, I'd say 3 or 4 weeks, it has been resolved. I don't have this feeling of needing to overcompensate for that divide between us, which I am attesting to the divorce. So I had been, carrying this heavy weight on my chest and starting to really pick apart every little conversation we had or non-conversation we were having. And I would I remember even asking her one day, like, do you even like me? Like, I asked my daughter that, like, I can tell you don't like me. And I couldn't believe I was saying it, but it was this feeling in my chest of like, she really is avoiding me. And I said, I need some help. I need to get some help here because this feeling isn't going away. And I know that I have mother wounds with my mom, and they've been going on for 40 years now. So I obviously haven't done all of the inner work around healing that mother wound and that mother hunger that I have for that relationship. And I say mother hunger because I'm reading a book right now called Mother Hunger, and it's really helping me sort of relax around and feel good about the reasons why that hunger exists, and realizing that it's not really anything that I contributed to. Not that I'm blaming my mother, but it's very generational, and the way that we relate with our children is very much regarded or related to how we were related to as children from our parents, and they were related to by their parents. So it's the generational trauma bond being passed, through all the generations. Very typical to this podcast and what we talk about. But the mother wound is something really, really big for me. And what I was doing was, I realized I was starting to project my relationship and my fears with my mom onto my own children. And so I said, enough's enough. I need some help. And I worked with this wonderful woman that I met who does conversational hypnotherapy. And I'd say within an hour and a half session, I had it worked out. I figured out where it was coming from, what I needed to do to relax and surrender instead of overcompensate. And it really lifted from my chest. That feeling of neediness, that feeling of not being liked, really dissipated within that session once I realized and took accountability for how I was being and how I was showing up in relationship with my daughter and my daughters, and really mending that relationship with myself. And that's what the inner work was, is I had to relax and tell myself that I was doing everything the best that I could with the knowledge that I had, and that I was doing enough. And not only that, but that I was enough. That me as myself, knowing what a vibrant being I am in my children's life, that was enough. And anything that was coming between my daughters and I wasn't going to take responsibility for it, even though I am taking responsibility for being a participant in how I was being. So just realizing that it's not about putting blame and said, you did this or you did that or you did not do this and I needed you to do this. It's not about that. It's looking at how worthy do you feel as an individual, and are you showing up in your best capacity? And I am doing that. And when I become needy or become self-conscious about our relationship, that's when it's time to just settle in and let things be, instead of start to dissect it and start to, point fingers at myself and then ask my daughters for validation. That's where I was really adding on an extra layer of, non-accountability. Okay. So it feels really good to say that out loud. And I will say that
I feel really free right now. And my relationship with my daughters, that will work itself out the way it needs to, just like my relationship with my mom will work itself out at the right time, if there is ever a time. And also realizing too that we are all individuals and our children come through us as portals. We are not here to own them. We're here to mold them. We're here to give them skills such as confidence and, teaching them how to go inside and really get in touch with who they truly are so that they can be the best version of themselves. That is our job. That is our role. But outside of that, we are here to love them, to support them, to make sure that they have all of their needs met emotionally, mentally, physically. Really, that is our role. And I feel very committed and connected to myself in that I am being that for my children. So anything outside of that needs to needs to really fall in this area where it's not my business. It's just not my business how people feel about me, and their perceptions of me are also not my business. And I cannot micromanage how I am being perceived by other people, including my daughters. And that goes for my relationship with my mom. I do not need to worry about what story she's creating around anything, and just let things go. And then I think the shift that really happened between my mom and I is me realizing that I didn't have to call her out of obligation and stay on the phone so that she felt good. So once I finally let that go, I realized, no, I can be on a call with her for 3 minutes and let that be okay. I can be on a call with her for 5 minutes or 7 minutes and let that be okay. And I know that that's okay for me, but not okay for her. And I have to be okay with that, not being okay with her. And I know that when we get off the phone, I can still hear some voice tones in her voice of, and I'm going to label it, I'm going to name it and say, there's a little bit of resentment there, but it's not my business what's going on for her about our call. I can only show up fully for 5 minutes sometimes, or for 7 minutes sometimes. And that's just the way it is right now until maybe it does shift. And if it doesn't shift, then it doesn't shift, right? So I'd love for you all to consider your relationship with your mom or your kids. And, if you're not on speaking terms right now, don't let it be something that you are using to hold over your head, to say that you're a bad person, that you aren't good enough, that you aren't doing enough, that you did bad things in the past and you deserve to hurt now. Please don't do that to yourself. Please give yourself some grace and also do some forgiveness. I needed to do forgiveness meditations with myself. And I really did need to forgive certain people in my life, mother, father, other family members, for things that were that had occurred in the past. But really, 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 I needed to forgive myself for hating so badly and allowing myself the grace to make those choices. And then now I'm making different choices. So noticing how you're showing up in relationships, taking accountability for how you are participating or not participating, how you are overthinking, overanalyzing, overcompensating, and really getting clear with yourself that you are enough. You are beautiful. You are pure. You are love. You are being held and you are holding other energies in the way that is right now. So, yeah, that's really what I wanted to share for today. I think that's a good closing point, and I would love to invite you to like or subscribe to this episode if this resonated with you, and really share it with someone else who this might be good for. And I'd invite you to, yeah, that's really it. Okay. So take care. Have a great day, and I will talk to you soon.
Ready to take the next step in designing a life you love? The Life Design Blueprint membership is your all access pass to exclusive tools, live guidance, and transformational support to help you move from self-doubt to self-worth. Building on the principles from the Design a Life That Lights You Up ebook, this membership is a deeper dive into creating a life that aligns with who you truly are. You will go beyond surface level self-help with hypnotic techniques and live discussions that create real lasting change in your mindset and life. You will receive ongoing support from me and connect with a community of like-minded women on a similar journey. Each week, I deliver an empowering hypnosis, which offers a unique way of working with your subconscious to reframe limiting beliefs, elevate self worth, and reinforce positive habits. All of our sessions will be recorded and added to our on demand library for easy access to members. Join me by clicking the link below, and I'll see you on the inside. Well, thank you so much for tuning into Wild and Free with Anna Love and being a part of this magical journey with me. If you like this episode, make sure to subscribe and share with someone you love, even someone you just like. Bonus points if you leave a review. Show notes below gives you everything that you'll need to know, and I'll see you next time. So long for now.